What's up, E.D.G family? Kevin here, and today we're going to be talking about the latest Gamefound campaign, Planet Unknown Supermoon expansion and the Deluxe reprint. This is a game I played quite a bit. I think this might be one of my favorite solo polyomino games. It's definitely my favorite polyomino game to play at 6 players. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about my experiences. I do have a couple playthroughs on the channel, so definitely check those out. But before we get into it, I really want to know, what are you guys the most excited about with this campaign? Have you picked up the game already and you're just looking to pick that expansion up? Are you looking to maybe deluxify your game because you picked up the retail expansion and you really want those deluxe components? Let me know. Myself, I am possibly eyeing those neoprene mats. I don't know. If you have the neoprene mats, leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on them. But we're going to go ahead and get to it. Alright, so I got the Planet Unknown Supermoon expansion and Deluxe Edition reprint pulled up. As you can tell, it's funded, and we got 23 days left to go on this expansion. It actually funded in 10 minutes. Not surprising. As I alluded to, this is a fantastic polyomino game. I would definitely put it up there as far as the polyomino games I have. A lot of things about it. I like the simultaneous play. I think that's probably the biggest draw for a lot of people, but I also kind of like the placement with the track system, all the different planet puzzles, the corporation puzzles. There's just quite a bit of content for you to kind of dig through and give yourself a challenge. So, like I said, have a couple playthroughs. I will link those. But we're going to get into this. This is a Gamefound campaign by Adam's Apple Games. I'm not too familiar with them other than Planet Unknown. This was a game I late backed. I think back May 2022, maybe April. I waited a couple months for my copy, got it in, but I think this game was in high demand. I didn't really know about it whenever it funded last time, so I can definitely tell you a lot of people missed out on this game, and a lot of people are going to want to pick this up. So we have a 1 to 6, 70-minute, ages 10 plus, Planet Unknown. As you could tell, we got this cool Susan, which is kind of like the station. It holds all the pieces, and it'll turn as you are selecting your pieces. That's kind of part of the simultaneous play. But I will say, cool thing about this is they are giving everyone a lid. I think if you back the new Deluxe reprint, you're getting a lid for the Susan, and if you back the expansion, just the expansion, you get yourself a lid too. So keep that in mind. I know that was something a lot of people were asking quite a bit about. The box itself, my box at least, has a lid lift. I don't even, like I said, don't have the neoprene mats. Kind of worried about adding them with the lid lift. But I think that's a great thing that they're adding at least a lid to it. So we have that. It's very cool. All the game components as far as the trays and organization and the Susan, I believe it's all done by Game Trays. So fantastic company. There we go. Just get into it. But that's what we're talking about. New lid for the Susan. The limited edition is out of print, so they are putting that reprint in, part of this campaign. And then we have a new expansion. It's going to be adding, some new components. It's going to be adding a whole little bit of, I think you're going to have a moon and some strategy. We'll get there. We'll talk about it. Don't worry about it. And then we'll talk about some game trays. Game trays, fantastic. I think every game I own that has game trays, I generally like it. I don't know if it's just because of the game trays, but I generally like most of the games they do the organizers for. So very cool. And right now, we're getting right to the pledges. So this is what we're talking about. We have, I believe, 3 different pledge levels. We'll see. We have a limited edition reprint and the Supermoon expansion. That's going to run you about 130 bucks. And I'll tell you right now, I think Planet Unknown alone, Deluxe Edition, is maybe worth 130 bucks. So definitely, if you're going to back, you might consider picking up that expansion. I will just be picking up the expansion with lid. That's a $30 pledge. I think that, as far as what I've seen, and we'll go through it, it's a pretty good price point for this expansion. So, whole new content, some new stuff just to add to Planet Unknown as well, and a lid. So, don't forget that lid. And then $100 for the limited edition reprint. I believe that's about what I paid. It might be a little bit more than what I paid when I late backed it, but fantastic price, like I said. I cannot complain. I don't think there's going to be too many stretch goals since they already have a base game, and I think they kind of already know what they want to do with the expansion. So I don't think there's going to be stretch goals, but if you see that, they're adding some kind of play online mode. That was unlocked at $35,000. So keep your eye on that. I believe this is on TTS. We'll check that out when I get lower, but that's something I do want to talk about later if it is on Tabletop Simulator. But we got some add-ons. We have the neoprene mats, 12 now. I think there was only 10 originally, so I think that's why the price went up a little bit. But $55 for neoprene mats. That's gonna burn on my brain. It's gonna burn on my brain a little bit. I am not sure exactly what I want to do with that. Obviously, storage with this game has been a problem, so I don't know if I want to add that. But if you picked up the retail edition and you want to add some plastic bits, you can add some plastic bits. If you have the plastic bits and you don't want them, you want the wooden bits, you can pick those up too. Very cool. And then it looks like there's a retail edition content upgrade for $20. I believe some of that stuff will be in there. I believe that's also probably going to be, we'll pull that up just in case anybody's curious. I think that's going to add you some extra corporations and whatnot. Does it really say? Yeah, corporations is going to add 2 corporations and some planets and a flux token, but it does not include the plastic meteorites. So keep that in mind. You are getting corporations and planets. Okay. And then there looks like there's a different language edition as well as an add-on. There is a video on what's in the box. I did check that out earlier. It's pretty informative. And there we go. We got a tabletop simulator. I wanted to talk about this because currently on Discord we are trying to get some organized play on tabletop simulator. So this would definitely be a game if you're interested in and you aren't sure about it. Maybe join the Discord. We can get some tabletop simulator group action on Planet Unknown, hopefully before the campaign's over. That would be fantastic. I don't, like I said, Supermoon's not available yet, but I will be. Okay, so here's what you're going to get with Supermoon. You're going to get 6 satellite minis. I believe that's going to have some kind of aspect of dealing with the asteroids on your moon. I believe that's what I picked up from that video. Like I said, relatively informative. And then we're going to have 36 salvage tiles. 6 for each player. I believe there's some kind of bonus for getting so many on your moon. The scoring is quite a bit different. I assumed it would. But yeah, it looks like there's a 4-point for each pair. I'm not really sure. But there is definitely a different scoring. And this thing threw me for a loop as well. I'm not really exactly sure how this is going to work. But it looks like there's some more asymmetrical planets that you build with 4 different boards. Looks like they're also doing something similar for the corporation side. A little bit of mix and match. Unsure how that's going to work. Looks cool. Not really something I necessarily thought I needed, but it does look cool. They're going to add 16 more Civ milestone cards to the expansion for you to, I assume they'll all probably be just related to the Supermoon expansion, but I could be wrong. Some of them will probably hit pretty hard on that. Some of them won't. 24 event cards. Once again, I could imagine some of these being specific for Supermoon and some of them just being, you could probably add to your base game. And then we have some all-terrain patches. Unsure how that's going to work, but I do think that'll be easier to fill in some holes on your planets and your moon, as far as I can tell. And then obviously a rule book. Below that, we have Planet Unknown details. So this is stuff I'm very familiar with. You're going to get your Susan. You're going to get, like I said, 12 different planets if you go all in. And which that's all you can do. There's no retail pledge on here. Yeah, so some of the things about this game that I think are just fantastic. Zero downtime, because like I said, simultaneous play. You're just constantly turning the Susan, picking your piece. And I will say, I think that's great for the solo aspect. And I will say, I've played this at a 3-player count. It's the highest I've played it at. But I will say, I would play this at 6. I would play this at 6. No doubt about it. Fully asymmetric. Really, really like the different puzzles. Specifically for solo, you're going to get different planets. You're going to get different corporations. You're going to mix and match them. Each one is going to give you a different puzzle to figure out. And then dual resource polyomino is basically that. All that's saying is you're going to draft a polyomino. It's going to have 2 sides, and you're going to get resources based on both those sides. So very, very cool. Looking else, what else do we have? Just more explanation of how the game works. You got, like I said, different terrain. You got meteorites that are going to throw down on there. You have energy resources, which is, it's kind of wild. It's wherever you place it, you can connect it with other energy resources and get a bonus, but it's just kind of giving you a little bit of variety as far as how you can use an additional resource to boost any of them. And then engine building, I absolutely will say there's some really cool track movement. Very cool track movement. If you lay them in the right order, you get these synergy bonuses. And I'll tell you, sometimes you lay one tile, I've moved like 4 tracks up, you know, once or twice a piece on a turn. Very cool synergies, very cool engine building. And the obstacles are the other aspect of this that makes this very challenging. You got live pods that give you points, and meteorites can be a pain. Specifically, if you get a lot of meteorite tiles up on the top of the Susan, it can make for a challenge, and then you have to move your rover around, pick them up. I'm not going to get too much into that because each corporation kind of does that a little differently. Like I said, planet puzzles. So that is the game, basically. And this is what you're going to get inside the box. You're getting this Susan that Game Trays has made. Fantastic. You're getting these tiles. 144 unique polyomino tiles. And then, yeah, you're getting different planets. I don't think I've played the 2 planet. Actually, I think it's 3 planets. It's kind of cut off. But I played quite a few of the planets. And like I said, they all have their own unique puzzle. 60 meteorites, 36 life pods, 14 rovers. Like I said, each corporation, some of them have 1 rover. I think there's a corporation that has like 3 or 4, but the movement on them, very challenging to figure that out. And objective cards. I do like the way they do objectives in this game. You have private objectives and you have neighbor objectives. That's a good word to put it. I've always called them like public objectives, but you set them between you and another player. And if you win, if you get more than they did, depending on the objective, you get more points. So that's a very cool aspect. I haven't done that too often. Generally, I'm bringing this to new people, and we really just kind of do the private objectives. But I do like the neighbor objectives. I think that's cool. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know, like castles, between 2 castles. I think that's what it's called. And then Civ milestone cards. So those are basically going to give you like ongoing benefits or change your endgame scoring. Very cool. Like I said, quite a bit going on in this game for it being pretty approachable. I would say this is a very approachable polyomino game. And then you get these events that are... I use them more for solo because that's pretty much how the solo game is built. But if you need an extra challenge, once you know you and your friends have played this a few times, you got these event cards in. You get trackers, you get the game trays, component organizers. I mean, I would have done that just for those over the retail any day. Any day. And then we got some endorsements from some other content creators. We got Tom Vassell. I believe he said this is one of his favorite polyomino games. I'm complete in agreement with him. I think this is a fantastic polyomino game. And that is pretty much it. So, yeah. Shipping that, there we go. So there are our shipping, because I think a lot of people have their eye on that stuff a little bit more than they used to. So 12 to 17, depending on what you're getting in the U.S. Or is that Canada? I think that's Canada. 8 to 15 in the U.S., 12 to 17 for Canada, 12 to 17 for UK, Europe, 15.25 China, 15.25 Australia. So I don't think that's too bad. I don't think that's too bad for shipping. I've seen a lot of crazy shipping numbers these days. I can't complain about that. But yeah, that is... they do have a Discord. I believe I'm on their Discord. So definitely, if you're following the campaign and you're on Discord, follow them, because they'll give you some more information that I can't give you. Let's scroll right back up to these pledges, because it's pretty apparent that I already own this game. I don't know if the box will be any better with this edition as the last one. I assume they'll probably fix that. That would be like my only nitpick about this game, componently, is lid lift in the box. But I'm definitely back in the Supermoon expansion plus the lid, and might pick up the neoprene mats. It kind of depends on the feedback I get on that. I don't think I'm rushing to necessarily add that to my pledge, but getting the Supermoon expansion, I think it's cool. I think ideally it's going to add a whole new way to play the game, and it's going to give you components to kind of bolster up the original game as it goes. And it's giving you a lid. So I think $30 for that is not horrible. But definitely let me know what you guys think. If you're new to this game and this is your first time crowdfunding it, I wish you all the luck. I think this game's fantastic. I think you'll enjoy it. If this is something you think you'll play, you will, because it'll get to the table a lot more than you think. This game definitely has a unreplaceable spot in my gaming collection right now. I think the fact that you can play this at 6 players, I think there's not very many games that I would go to first anymore. That if I'm trying to play a game with 6 players, this is definitely going to be one of the first ones I would suggest. So keep that in mind. Like I said, I do have some playthroughs, so check those out if you're interested more on how the gameplay works. They're completely different. I think one of them's got one planet, different planet. So a little bit of variety there. But definitely let me know what you guys are thinking on this one. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are too. And I will see you guys on the next one. Much love.